this is Rick Schmidt, Remax Properties East, Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to discuss this morning the topic of home inspections. Specifically, why should I bother with a home inspection? Well, you bother with a home inspection for the same reasons you would take a used car for a test drive and have a trusted mechanic thoroughly test the used car before you consider buying it. Now, home inspections are critical because the inspector will examine the systems of your home, and this will allow you to make a list of repairs you're going to ask the seller to make for any items found to be broken or dangerous. Even a new home should be thoroughly inspected because builders use subcontractors. Subcontractors usually work independently of the builder, and not all subcontractors or builders are created equal. So you need to make sure corners weren't cut and everything was done properly and to code. Just to give you an example, the first home I bought had it in the kitchen there was a grill. And if you open the cupboard above the grill, you could see the vent leading to the outside, because on the outside there was a fan, an exhaust fan. Well, unfortunately, the builder never connected the exhaust fan to that vent that was in the cupboard above the grill. So in reality, it was non-functional. So you didn't get any exhausting of the fumes and the smoke when you started grilling. Not much fun, but we didn't do inspections back in that time period. Also, if the home has a basement, it's important to get it tested for radon gas. Radon's a naturally occurring gas. It is a carcinogen and accumulates in enclosed spaces. For example, basements. That's where it accumulates. You need to make sure that it tests below a certain minimum level, and if it doesn't, that goes on the list of repairs you send to the seller and ask him to remediate the radon gas. And that's something that's fairly common here in Jefferson County, Oldham County, Spencer County. So you need to spend the extra $100 and get it tested for radon gas. Now, what does this all cost? Well, it really depends on the complexity of the home, the square footage of the home, whether it has a basement, whether it's on a slab, or whether it's got a crawl space, and how many heating systems it has. So the more complicated and larger the home, the more expensive it's going to be. But generally for a smaller home, it's going to be about $175 up to $500 or more. The pest inspection is usually included in that, but it usually costs about $50, and I said the radon's about $100. Now, what is the goal of the inspector? Well, the goal of the inspector is to test, where possible, every system in the house, all the appliances, all the electronics in the house, as well as examine everything that actually can't be tested. So, for example, we'll start on the outside, looking at the roof, looking at the age of the roof, seeing if there's any missing shingles, or the shingles are obviously old because they're curled. And once they start curling, the wind easily gets under them and blows them off. So if you got a roof with a lot of curly, unflat shingles, that means it's older. He's also going to check the chimney and all the vents in the roof, and check the flashing to make sure the integrity is there and it's not going to be leaking soon. He'll also check the mortar on the chimney to see if it needs tuck pointing, and also the chimney cap to make sure its integrity is in place. He's also going to check the gutters and the downspouts to make sure the gutters are functioning, that they're not clogged up, they're not falling down, and also that the water drains away from the house when it goes down the downspouts. He's also going to look at the windows for rot. You know, very often on the southern side of the house, with all the heat it gets and the sun, the lower parts of the windows, if they're not aluminum clad or vinyl clad, if they're wood, they have a tendency to rot. So he's going to make sure there's no punkiness there. He's also going to test the soffits and the fascia boards to make sure they are, if they're wood, to make sure they're not punky and rotted. What else here? Decks and garages, and actually the integrity of the brick, if it's a brick home, to make sure it doesn't need pointing. He's going to look on the decks to make sure there's no nail pops, which are dangerous, and make sure the wood of the deck is in good condition and not rotted in spots. Basically just pointing all those things out to you, and you need to be there with him when he does his inspection. It should take a minimum of an hour and a half to anywhere from 4 to 5 hours, depending on the size of the house and number of rooms and systems. And he's going to look at basically the ground, see if there's any dead trees. He's going to look at the driveway to make sure it's in good condition. And that's probably about it for the exterior. Now the inside, he's going to check all the systems there. He's going to turn all the appliances on and off, make sure they function. He's going to check the lights. He's going to check the clarity of the outlets. He's going to turn all the appliances on in the kitchen. He's also going to turn all the cold water faucets on and let them run for a while, and then look underneath the sink to see if there's any leaks. He's also going to check the integrity of the windows, and he'll go into the attic to check the condition of the boards that basically form the structure of the roof, the roofing system, to make sure nothing's broken or rotted, and also looking for stains in the wood underneath the roof that you can see from the attic. Also, he's going to go in the basement and look at the condition of the basement. Is it musty smelling? Are there leaky areas? He'll look around any window, see if there's any leaks. He'll check the furnace to make sure the flame is a nice blue flame, not yellow, which means it's dirty. He'll check the functionality of the furnace as well as the air conditioner. As long as the temperature is above like 50 degrees, I'll be able to check the air conditioner functionality. And let's see what else we got here. Electrical outlets, roof structure. He's checking the flooring out to make sure it's all level. There's no dips in it. Some of the older houses have settled a lot, and you might have a sloping downward type floor, but in a lot of these houses 100 years old, that's kind of the norm. But they shouldn't be real flexible, like they're soft or anything. They still should be hard. Bathrooms, he's going to check the functionality. Does the tub stopper work, so that when you try to keep the water from flowing out, does that work? Are there leaks around the handles for the faucets? And sorry about that. I've discarded that call. But anyway, he's going to check the bathrooms out, the venting system in the bathroom, for example, to make sure it actually works and is vented. And he's going to check to see where the vents go. Do they just go into the attic, or do they go out to the outside? And the doors and windows on the inside. And what does this result in? Well, this results in a report that your inspector will give you. It will highlight the items that are either broken or dangerous. Then you can take this report with your realtor and give it to the seller and basically say, look, these things are either broken and dangerous. The dishwasher doesn't work, or there's a broken window, or there's double tapping on one of the connections in the breaker box, because he'll pull off the cover of the breaker box and check for double tapping and any other, you know, problems that he sees. Now, he's not going to check the furnace for like a crack in the furnace or anything, but you know, he'll check and make sure it's functioning efficiently. So anyway, I hope this video was educational for you and you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, call me 502-807-4999. I'd be glad to help you. And have a great day.